Okie dokie, so this is our Pilates session together. We are going to get comfortable. We're going to have our water should we need it. We're going to have our ventilation, your plenty of space, your extra layers, your cushions, whatever you need. We are going to have that classic relaxation to start us off with. So I'm going to come down and join you on my mat. So let's get ourselves comfortable. So being able to just have a little wiggle around and let yourself just settle down onto your mat. It might be that you hug, rock and roll to get there. I often do that. So I'm going to just wiggle and push my lower back a little bit more so into my mat. And that's, like I said, I'm just wiggling around a little bit. You might like to do this with a little open rocker of those legs. Breathing in and breathing out. Just gently does it, pressing into your lower back. And then from here, anything goes for your actual relaxation position. Feet down is often a lovely transitional movement. Hands can be wherever you like them, but we're breathing so that you've got space to breathe into the belly, breathe into the rib cage, breathe into the chest. And sometimes if you do have the arms out, it's just another way to just find that you've got an openness with your body. Another transitional step and a movement could be that you allow yourself to have that release through the inner thighs, which we don't often get unless you're telling yourself to actually stretch them. So this one's a passive version of that, with the soles of the feet together, the knees out wide, and quite a calm position for you through your inner thighs, through the tendons there, through the pelvis itself, and just relaxing where you are with your eyes closed or open. Both are absolutely fine. Eyes closed is another way of layering up how you're feeling today. Taking these breaths as they come, breathing in and breathing out. If you do want to have legs extended, another brilliant way to relax is to have a V shape of the legs to match the V shape of your arms. But wherever you are in this relaxation position, doing just that, taking your breaths as they come, creating a fluidity, creating a calm, and having a rhythm that we can translate into support and the extra layer of help when we're in our exercises, and even when we're stretching and releasing any tension between, or again, when we get to the end of our session together. So for right now, taking our time is the biggest gift we can give ourselves. Being present is another one. And then having that mind-body connection. Being able to be present with the mind, to be able to relax your body and just ease yourself into your mat. Ease yourself into your cushion if you have one, so that you're letting your head be heavy. Softness coming from underneath and just absorbing that, absorbing the earth beneath you, absorbing that mat and breathing outwardly. So breathing from kind of a central point. It might be in your mind's eye. You're breathing from your spine, from the length of the spine, and letting that breath radiate around. It's a lovely central point to think about the breath kind of hugging you. So it could start to hug you through the waistline. It could start to hug you through your actual waistband. That might be your midline to think about your core engagement. It could be very simple that you have core engagement coming right from your tummy button. And we might also think about the idea of a corset wrapping around you. So the hug starts you off. It might be nice and calm and soft. As you get to layering up and getting deeper with the breath, it might well be that you can have more of a core engagement that has the holding element. So I'll always suggest that you put your core engagement inside your exhale. It has a synchronization that's nice and natural. When the diaphragm is moving and when you're expelling that air, that is a natural core engagement. And then here in this relaxed position, we just make more of it. So if you can, you make it a deeper version. What does that feel like for you? It's individual for sure, but being able to concentrate, have that mind-body connection that enables you to be present in the particular activity you're doing. So for right now, that's your breathing. From the base of your pelvis, you might be lifting up for me. You might well be lifting up to the rib cage and feel like it's drawing right in and right up. It might be centered down in the pelvis and just wrap around low. It might wrap around the waistband. It might be any number of different options at different times and different times that you're presented with this breath. So the idea of breathing is really here to kind of luxuriate in the fact that you are breathing only, no other movement needed through the body. And just being aware of what you are capable of. You capable of your breathing, and you are capable of enhancing that breath as well. So taking your time through about 5 more of these, in terms of the wrapping, in terms of the hugging in, all of those analogies, whichever one sits well with you, give me your strongest version. So is it very simple that you hug into that central point and you feel like you're lovely and super tight, you hold it, hold it, hold it, and then you're soft again. Making sure that the inhale has your switch off and your exhale has your turning on and switching on of that core engagement, that zipping up, that lifting, that holding, whatever it is that you've got. Talk to your body, have the mind-body connection, make it work a little harder for you. And as you roll through those 3 to 5 breaths, then you can go back to the calmer. So it might be that you do a little wiggle of the shoulders. It might be that you feel the shoulder blades move down a little bit. It might be that you want to move the wrists or you want to move the arms. And if you're ready for a little bit more movement anyway, depending on where you were, I'm going to take my legs right out for a full body stretch. So I've got my toes lovely and pointed. I'm just going to interlace my hands and actually pull them above my chest. So I have a chest stretch on the way to a full body stretch. Ooh, like it's first thing in the morning. Stretch right out. Come right around and drawing yourself back down. So reaching up, stretching away. And here, I'm just going to cross the arms across and breathe myself through arm circles. I'm just going to widen the legs where we are. So I'm going to have them like where you just started with a wide positioning. And from here, for a change, I'm gently going to put up on the angle. So I'm going to gently open where my knee is out to the left, or left knee to the left, right knee. So when I hug you in normally, it's parallel. This version, you're going to get a pull across the other hip flexor as well. And I would say you'd actually prefer a much calmer option. So let's not go yanking the knee to the chest. But if you would like to curl up, you can curl up on that little mini diagonal. Breathing in, breathing out. If it's not for you, and what you would prefer to do is curl up, but reach down the middle and let that knee go to the side on its own without you pulling, you're reaching with both fingertips, both hands, right down your midline. Breathing in, breathing out. If you would like to do so, you can hug, put the toes together, and you can give me a press through the middle. You can put the feet back down. You can just have a little rest and a wiggle for the shoulders. The legs could go out. They could stretch out. You could reach up, gently draw one side, gently draw the other. You bring the big toes and the heels together. Reach through the midline, hollow out my belly, knees to chest. You can come down. So when I've done that, I've done the right-hand side, actually, all of those options. So I'm going to do 3 repetitions of the same movement pattern, but with my left-hand side. Big circular arms, left knee on the angle. When I come up, I'm bringing the right knee out. I'm in the middle, and I'm going to hug, and then down I go. Feet go down, knees open, legs out. Wiggle through the glutes so you haven't overarched your back for me. If you need to do a pared down version, you know where you were, you just weren't curling up, and you can give me some stretch and release that suits you. So if you don't want on this angle, please just have picked an option that really sits better for you personally, your back and your body. I'm going to reach last time through the middle, and then here, I'm just going to hug and hold. If you want to hug and hold and put your head down, you absolutely can. I'm going to hold behind our knees and do a little rock up. When we're here, you can, by all means, give me rocking and rolling, front and back, but because we're still warming up, I'm going to just leave us up here and do some walking boat pose from here. So, boat pose just means strong core and strong angles. It doesn't have to be a full extension. It doesn't have to be a big lean back. It has to be a version that makes sense for you. So, I'm going to have myself on my little tiptoes here. Relax the shoulders, shoulder blades down my back, but a nice straight line. And I'm just going to kick up, and I have got my knees, I don't think I can, well, if I was here, they would be tighter, but they're pretty tight to my body, to my chest. And actually, if you're not warmed up in the legs yet, You don't even have to have a very strong extension. You could just start lifting and reaching potentially out with the same hand. If you'd like a version that doesn't lift the leg, you could hover and just have a lower version. I'm not saying either are harder, it's actually all relative. Could be your hip flexors allow you to come down here, but they don't really want you to go up there. So it's entirely up to you to walk on through for me. Keep going with that option. Would you be able to do a double option? So you could walk up, up, down, down, up, down, down. If you actually don't want to hold and you want to put your hands either to the side or on your fingertips, you could lift up for me and do a walk here where your hands are down. So you could do a little walking kick, and that could be your version, but it's still a version of both pose. If there is a double in your future and you feel like you can give that a shot, you can hold up and give yourself the holding version. If that holding version has a walk in, walk out of the hands, that might be a nice transition. If you want to stretch your leg out, bring it in, stretch your leg out, bring it in. Let me go back to the other side. Then you could keep going with singles and then put in little doubles. You could do a little mini crunch for me and put it down. All I'm saying is don't stop and give me some single and double repetitions that help you to have core engagement. I'm doing some single kick outs on one side. I'm still holding. If you want to kick out full on, you can tap down, kick out, and here. You could even actually hug this in if you prefer. And it's not even a full extension, it's a kick out because we're still warming up this idea. I've given you lots and lots of layers, lots and lots of options because they're all relative. If you keep going and you don't stop, then you're actually giving me more and more through your core. If you've got a holding version, whatever that is for you, let's do it now. Parallel or straight. We're going to hold for 3. We've got 2. 1 more. Guide yourself over the top. I'm just going to shift back a little bit. But we're in our spine stretch forward. First time we've done this movement. So if you prefer to gently slide down your shins towards your ankles, or you like to give me a bit of a reach, stretch, move through, reach, stretch, and keep continually moving in this fashion, and don't put a hold in. If you actually prefer a little different option, flexed feet is a good one. You can soften the knees, reach further, and then straighten. So you can bend the knees, bend the elbows, and then you can straighten the legs. It's all relative to your lower back, your hamstrings, your calves. Little less of you holding onto the toes, still a brilliant stretch. So stick with it for me. Just breathing in, breathing out for a moment. Inhale. Exhale. From here, just scoot yourself round and out of your own way. And then we're going to come into some hip circles. So we're on the all fours position. And I'm just going to go with, so in my mind's eye, it could be a small, it could be a bigger circle. It's wherever I feel is appropriate. And actually, I know it's a circle, but I am leading myself in one direction first. The circle includes you pushing a little bit over, so weight going a little bit over your wrist, and it includes you pushing back. Let yourself feel it. So it's like doing our cat-cow, where you feel it, the stretch through your lower back, you feel the stretch through the upper back and the shoulders, but you're just continually flowing through for me. If you have been going, and I've been going in one direction, lead yourself off there, round in the other direction. Just take your time, breathe it through, see where you are in terms of wanting to have the arms outstretched, a wider position for the actual stance, so wider legs, wider hands, more push press, more pause. It's all going to be beneficial if you use your core, you use your breath, and you support yourself. Back the other way might be a nice addition as well. So maybe give me a couple more in each direction. You might be going a bit quicker than me, you might get more in, but I'm just going to go the other way for a last and final rep. Lovely. From here, We are going to come up, so I'm just going to go back to more of a classic box position. Press my hands nice and strongly, tuck my toes, lift up, press into my heels, and then off I go to roll up. When you're up with me, taking off a jumper, I feel it's going to drive me nuts. So when you're up with me, we're going to come into some wide pliés. We're going to come into some stretching, some releasing, some standing abdominal challenges, and we're just going to kind of go with the flow. Always thinking, go with the flow. How are you feeling? Where are we with the movement I'm giving you? What are you feeling? Do you need to tweak it? Do you need a chair? All of these things might become apparent as we get going. So just to start us off with, the very calmest, we're going to go into a calm version of a wide plie. It doesn't have to be the widest you've ever put your legs, and it doesn't have to be the lowest. We're going to already think about base of pelvis out through the crown of the head being pulled out. So rather than tipping forward, yes, I might still use my core, lift your chest, keep the chin up, and just slide up and down for me. So again, not too deep, not the deepest you've ever slid into one of these wide pliés, but in your mind's eye, and obviously you've got me to look at, not necessarily yourself to look at, unless you're recording this yourself, but in your mind's eye, just give me a press out and a push. Rather than just going up and down and bouncing, you are pushing down, and we are using your glutes. We're working into inner thighs because they're out in this position, so they're going out, they're being worked in and out. So as they go down, you might feel the pull. On the way in, give me squeeze. Keep with that pelvis. Instead of tipping forward when you want to get deeper, keep that line, pelvis, all the way up to the breastbone, all the way out through the crown of the head. So not too complicated, but enough to kind of keep our interest and keep ourselves connected to your movement pattern. Nice strong connection with the heels. Breathing in on the way down. Breathing in on your way up. So here what we're going to try and come into is a little bit of a touchdown. So as I come down, you could just have a reach and a stretch. You don't have to have a touchdown, but if you want to, you're just going to be stretching and reaching. So again, this is not the deepest that I could go. I'm warming myself up. I'm also not leaning to go side to side. That would be different. We're still doing a wide plie with a reach on the diagonal. If you just want to tap your knee, or you want to reach across without any hinge, that's also brilliant because you'll still be working your waist. Where you are and where I am, it really doesn't matter. We're just going to do the best you can without the idea of stopping because something has gone wrong or you're not feeling good. Just keep moving, just keep challenging yourself. And then we're going to do a row on the way back. So we're going to pull. If you can, you're just going to get wider with the angle. So a little bit more reach and stretch. And then as you pull up with the core again from the pelvis, nice, strong, and that elbow can be up and it's behind you. If you want to keep it calmer, you could keep it tighter inside and calmer for pulling up. If you can go right over and pull, let's do it. Both of my sides, I'm feeling a stretch, a reach, and a pull, but they are different angles. It's just the way it goes. I'm keeping in those heels. I'm keeping with an exhale to pull me up. When we're on the next one, we're then going to do a hinge for me and just do a little mini hinge. So I slid down first, little mini hinge, and then you're going to stay there and give me the row and the pull. So again, no shaky hips, that would be something else. You're going to reach and pull, but you're staying down there. If you just want to do a reach that has the press, I like that for tempo. It works your waist. You've got a little mini hinge for me. You're in the glutes, you're in the heels, and you've still got the obliques working. So we can mix and match both. This is my faster tempo, my push press. Then I'm going to go slow and low and just have a double. So double row, it actually works better as a double, I feel. To stay low in my legs, I could challenge. I hope you just saw that level change. I went down again. Can you pull up? Slow, slow. Breathe in. Cores engaged. Super strong for me. Let's do 5, the legs where they are. They're probably in a prime position for me. So keep relaxing through the pelvis, relaxing through the tummy, relaxing through the posture. Whilst you're here, you could just pop and tip behind. So tipping your bottom, that's my pelvis, but tipping my bottom behind. And you could give me a little tuck, and you could give me that little roll. So you can just go in and out. Here, when I said don't do it a moment ago, now you can. So you're just going to stretch your inner thighs by pushing back, hinging. And like I said, I've kept my feet in exactly the same position. And I'm just going down and down, and I'm reaching. So now what we're going to try for is that exact movement. We're just going to reach and reach. So if you can give it to me with your arms, one's up, one's down. The length of the arm is matching that long lengthened leg. So pull up, bent leg, bent arm, reach. Again, this could be a different depth. I might go deeper on one side than I am on the other. I might well be going a little quicker, not bobbing as I already touched upon, but just working through stretch and reach. So here I am with a little bit of a quickened tempo. It's not fast, it's just not hanging about. So you're going side to side, reaching, reaching. If you want to go back to the one reaching in front, you've now got the side to side legs. Again, tempo is yours to pick, but I haven't got the real pull up arms. I've got the calm, because now I'm just bringing myself up. So just slowly again, going side to side. So this idea of keep moving, but kind of having some challenge and then some calm. This is like my version of stretch for you standing. So again, let's have zipped up. I know it might mean you want to move and get a chair, which means you're not in a perfect position for your feet, but could you give me a double heel raise here? So you might need a chair, a little something in front of you, which might mean obviously move yourself, go and get it or position yourself. If you want to give me a single, it's not as kind on the hips than if you were to do it with bent knees. So if you're okay to do it, zip up from the pelvis, lift up for me, lift up and be pulled. It's just like being pulled by a piece of string. So if you can, and if you want to, we can just have arms coming with you, coming up, coming down. So this is just a nice straight line from the base of my pelvis, out through the crown of the head, lovely straight spine, shoulder blades pulling down my back. Double heel raise as high as these heels go for you. Whatever you can manage, just keep going. Let's have a last and final 3, 2, 1. Hold the heels. Now give me just arms. Sweep those arms. If you need to put one heel down, do. Sweep the arms here. You've got 5. We've got 4. We've got 3. We've got 2. And we are done. There's a bit of a bit of an engagement there is an understatement for those calves. So let's actually have, whilst we're here, if you've got that something to push against, it might be nice, but a nice classic calf stretch is just dig that back heel down, maybe a little hinge. If you want to reach up and over, same arm as the leg is back, it's just an additional hip flexor stretch. So it might not be too strong, but I'm after the calf stretch for you. Breathing in, breathe it out. So from here, we're going to get ourselves back down onto the mat. We're going to do it in our classic way, which is rolling down. So again, another stretch on our way down. If you want to hold the standing forward bend stretch, you absolutely can with soft floppy arms or just travel straight through. You can come through that downward facing dog for me. I don't mind. And again, you can hold it or not. So if you're down on the knees already, and I've talked too much, you could give me a child's pose. So I'm going to come with you. I'm going to tuck the chin into the chest. I'm going to roll down. I'm going to ease myself through the spine. Like I said, hold it if you want to. I'm going to walk out, trying to keep my heels down, trying to then get my hands nicely positioned ahead of me. Heels down, bottom up, but I'm just going to gently tip onto my knees. Open those knees as I suggested, big toes together. Any version of a child's pose. I'm just going to have my hands as wide as my mat for a change. Breathing in and breathe it out. So nice regular breath pattern. If you want to slide in and have our pausing version, pop the head to the side, or let it gently look down to your mat. You absolutely can. Have a little breather, have a little calm, and then we're going to do some similar kind of leg movements where we're going to try ourselves in a moment with some wide positioning. We're also going to do some seated leg lifts, so full disclosure, those are a bit tough. And at the moment, what we're going to do is when you're ready, coming up to the all fours, or you want to sit on your heels like I am, because I'm just chatting you through, but coming into the all fours position for a hamstring curl. So if it's a no-go for the wrist and the kind of rigidity of the arms and the flexion in the wrist, make this for me. Pop your hands on a cushion or come down onto the forearms, because it's just going to be legs, it's not going to be arms at the moment. So I'm going to go with the box position. And we are always in a box position in a calm fashion, but then you get yourself ramped up in it. So plant the hands and just, I have it locked out, but I've engaged the top portion of my arms. I push my shoulders, my chest and my shoulders up and out to the ceiling. You could have the knees together if you'd like to. It might be helpful for stability to have those 3 points of connection. I'm going to do right leg first. I'm going to lift it, and then I'm going to simply kick my bottom. I'm just going to actually change my angle a little bit. So let me reset that. So I'm going to stretch out. You could have your toe out, your toe tucked and your core engaged, and you could kick here and actually put your foot down. So it's like when we do a calf stretch. So if you ever want to push back and do a calf stretch here, then reset yourself, kick the bottom, pop the foot down. That's probably my calmest. If otherwise you want to hover hold, really strong core engagement, definitely on the side where the leg is lifted. Keep the knee in line, flex the foot, point the toe, keep the hover going the entire time. We're also staying on the same side, keeping in line. Like I mentioned earlier, if there's any chance of you looking at yourself, you know, with a mirror or recording a session of yourself, you'll be able to see your lines. You can see mine. I'm hopefully, not too wobbly, but I'm hopefully keeping toe and knee and glute in a nice line. So I'm not overly hoiking up my leg. I'm not overly arching my lower back. And it's just a very calm but strong rhythm. We point, we flex. We point, we kick. 2 more. And kick. 1 more. And from here, just come out of it, either with the calf stretch, or you actually want to come and sit down and go around and stretch out. So you could hug in and lift up for a change and have a hamstring stretch here. You could have a hug and an open for that hip. You can have a wiggle here, but it's not, we often do it lying down, and you don't have to go all the way down. You can do a version seated, or sorry, just do the seated forward bend. That was the original reason whilst I was there. I was just giving you another option. So again, swing yourself back round. And this one, what we're going to do, we're going to do the same thing, but to be kind to ourselves, we can do it down on the forearms. And we're going to be doing a hamstring curl in the same way, where you're going to point and kick your bottom, point and kick the bottom, but we're going to change the angle. So I was right behind, nice and directly in behind, in line with the shoulder, everything was parallel, everything was good in that sense. So I'm just going to nudge, and it's going to be the same leg out to the side a little bit. So you can stay on the hands, and I'll probably do that in a minute, but just to be kind, you could come down, put the knees together, and then just take the leg out on the angle and kick it out there. So again, I'm a little bit off camera, but you can have your flexed foot, so I don't think you need my head really, do you? So I'm going to take that leg to the side, toes tucked, kick. You can put the foot down and kick and do a different version here if you didn't do a hover version. If you want to do the same box position version, on the angle, kick. But you can still point and kick. I'm trying to get you an angle so that you can see that leg. So it's out on the angle and kick. You can have the hover and kick. It's out on the angle. If I come directly to the side for you, you'll be able to see it's now over here, kick. You could tap the toe and kick. If you want to point the toe the entire time because you're hovering and it makes a little bit more sense, you absolutely can. It's going to be a tougher version for you to hover. Try not to lean on the opposite side. Try to give me 5 more. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Come round, and I already touched upon it when I said we're going to do a straight leg lift. So this straight leg lift is going to be a lift and a circle, and for the purposes of toning and being slightly meaner, I would say do it on the same leg. If you need to swap this one to the other leg, just remember what you've done, that the all fours position ones were both on one side, and then this seated one is your other side, so that when we do the other leg and we swap, you know where you are. So if you want to, you can roll the shoulders, plant the hands. You could have both feet planted, and you could give me a circle here that is a half circle or half, it's all relative to you, but it's much calmer than doing straight leg. You can keep the supporting leg bent, and you could give me a straight leg circle here, and you can put the foot back down. The toughest option is going to be to keep both legs down, and I'm also going to challenge you to have them maybe as wide as your mat for a change. I've got to roll my shoulders, get myself in position, soft elbows, and I'm going to lift here. So I'm grounding down this other leg. The heel is down, the calf is down, the thighs engaged, pelvic floor, pelvis, posture, that all comes into play. So breathing in. When you're ready, I'm going to do same leg. You could lift, tap the heel, lift, tap the heel, or you've got your hover hold again. So I'm going to do my circles. They are not huge. I'm not flinging the leg around. I've got a straight leg, pelvic stability, shoulder stability. This leg is working. Keep breathing. 3, 2, 1. Hold it up, hold it, hold it, hold it. Go the other way. Up and around, up and around, up and around. Keep going. Let's do this one. Finish strong. You've got 5, 4, 3, 2. Woo! I think whilst we're here, nice idea is to have our butterfly stretch. So very simply, you could hold this. Hold around the toes, hold around the ankles. Pump those legs like little butterfly wings if you want to, or not. It's entirely up to you. But you're just taking some really nice big deep breaths for me. Breathing in and breathe it out. If you want to just let your head settle and look down a little bit and just have a slight softness through the body, you absolutely can. Breathing in, breathing out. Inhaling, exhaling. Let's go round and do the other side. When you're on the other side, we are going with the all fours, the kickback. So you're on all fours. When you're doing the kickback, that hamstring curl, you're first off, you're going to do the straight leg. You're going to keep those legs straight. You're going to stretch out. You're going to lift up, and you're going to kick where you are. Toe could go down. You lift and kick. You might have the knee a little lower on this option, and that's okay. Or you give me a hovering option that keeps that leg out, and you kick. Point and kick. Point and kick. Breathe in, breathe it out. Inhale, exhale. Keep the rhythm going. Keep going for another 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. When you're ready for it, you might stretch out in the same way when you sit on your bottom. You could hug the knee in. You could give me a hamstring stretch here in a seated position. You breathe in and you breathe out. Then we come around and we're going on the angle. Would you like to come down onto the forearms? Do you want to stay where you were in the box position? But you take it out, that same leg, out on the angle. Breathing in and breathing out. When you're ready for it, same exact principle. Toe could stay down. You could lift, kick, tap the toe. Try not to lean to the other side. Try to remain nice and strong. Keep breathing. If you're hovering, it might not be exactly the same as your first side. Might not be exactly the same as the straight leg, but you're working into the outside of the glute, outside of the leg, and you're still working that hamstring. Keep breathing in breathing out. Inhale, exhale, breathe in, breathe it out. You've got 3, 2, and 1. So we are round on our bottom on this one. Did you swap legs when we did the leg circles? Would you like the knees bent? Do you want the other leg and the foot planted? Entirely up to you. If you're okay to go with a slightly wide V shape, doesn't have to be the same as the first side. Don't worry about it. From the pelvis, through the chest, out through the crown of the head, keep the upright posture. Fingertips behind me, soft elbows, roll the shoulders, bend into the arms. I'm doing that same leg. You might have switched. You could give me lift and tap. So you could give me a circle that's one on its own, heel goes down. Breathing in, breathing out. Other leg is grounding. Heels pointed or flexed, pointed toes or flexed feet. Same is true if you would actually like flexed feet to do your circle. I have pointed, I'm just kind of used to that. Give me the hover version if it's in you, if you can. Try not to have a jerky movement through the torso. Keep it nice and strong. You've got 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold that leg, lift it a little higher. Hold it for 3, 2, 1. Other leg, other direction. Keep going. Up and around, Thighs engaged, cores engaged. Breathing in, breathing out. 3, 2, 1. Coming in. I was like, oh yes, we're done with that one. So coming in, just having the same butterfly stretch, but maybe have your leg, your chin lifted, elevating through your head. Maybe slide it back and give me more of a hug. I'm probably going to do that with more outstretched legs. So I'm going to push through the upper back, stretching the spine, breathing in, breathing out, sliding up again. Now I'm sliding to my ankles. I'm just going to pop in our head mobilization here. Nice, easy place to just put this in. Breathing in and breathing out. Okie dokie. So from here, we are going to come into a forearm plank. Your forearm plank obviously can still have many different layers, many different options. If you are not with me for the full forearm plank, into hip dipping and gliding yourself forward and back. We will do it in 2 parts and have a stretch in between, but just let you know that's what's coming. If that's not on the cards for you, you could give me the knees together, hands could be slightly in front, and you could give me dropping and twisting hips here because it will work through your obliques. Just be mindful of your knees if you need to roll your mat up for that. So that's our hip dip, our first one, and then I'll talk you through the next one. So either do that one for me, because that sits better with you. Otherwise, come down onto the forearms. With me, I often hold my hands. I don't know why. You can put the hands down, you can make this. It's whatever makes sense, but I put my hands together. I'm pressing into the elbows, but even here, I'm lifting through the core. I'm going to press one leg out, press the other, and then I zip up through my core, and I do lower myself down. Same as earlier when I said, have you got the ability to look at yourself? Look at this straight line. Remember this, and if you need to hold, you can hold. If you want to come with me for some hip dipping, it's very subtle because you're just gently tipping through your toes, probably more so the big toes, a little bit round to the other toes as you drop the hip. But although it's hip dip, it's more of a roll for me, so very slow, very controlled. We're doing about 5 more seconds, so if you want to hold back 5 seconds, you can. Here you are with maybe 1 more each side. And pause it. Like I said, stretch it out. Could be cat-cow if you haven't been on your wrist. Could be child's pose, and it could be child's pose with our in and out version. So not quite a cobra when I have my knees wide, but it is coming in, coming out. Because you're well into this session together, you are warmer than you think in the joints, and we've done some wide pliés, so hopefully your hips are feeling a bit more open. And you're just going to come in, come out for me. Breathing in and breathing out. When you're ready for it, as mentioned, we've got a second option on and in the all four, in the, on the forearm. I'm trying to get my words out. In a elbow side plank or on the elbows, but you're on the elbows or you're on the hands. If you're not going to be on the elbows and we're still on the big toes and you're gliding forward and gliding back, but it's all shoulders, it's all core, it's very strong. If that one's not for you, then you could give me the all fours balance, which is opposite arm and leg, stretching, reaching. Let me come this way as well. So you'll be opposite arm and leg, stretch and reach away, and you can do them slightly speedier tempo than we're going forward and back. You kind of decide. You could hold them, you can mix and match. You should know that one by now if you do these plenty with me. Going to come down on those forearms again. I'm going to tuck the toes, bottom goes down once more, and here you press forward, you press back. I'm not lifting my bottom, I'm not lifting my head or dropping my head. I am zipped up through the core, using my core to push forward and back, being able to work through my shoulders, being able to support myself with that lovely big exhale. Can we do one more there and back? Hold it. Can you hold a plank or an all fours for me? 3, 2, 1. Woo! So, which one of those stretches haven't you done, or would you just like to lift up? So you could lift up and just roll and open the chest. If you've just worked the shoulders, it might be a nice idea just to kind of gently pull in. So you don't have to go yanking, but just kind of pulling, opening, or even put the thumbs up, thumbs in, thumbs out. And again, maybe just roll the shoulders. So what we're going to come into now, we're going to kind of wind it down a little bit. We're going to get ready for our relaxation, just not quite yet. We're going to come round to lie on our back. We're going to come into our walking hamstring stretch, which you can carry on with, or it then takes you into scissors, which is our classic Pilates exercise, and it has many layers as always. So I'm just going to hug in. Let me wiggle again, sorry. So I'm in a nice position. I'm going to hug in those knees. If you want to hug and rock and roll, you can absolutely hug and rock and roll up. It might just be nice to open the knees a little bit, press different angles, different movement patterns here for your lower back release. And inner thigh, if you need it, you can get those knees a little wider for me. Just breathing in and breathe it out. And when you're ready for it, I'm going to plant my feet. I've got the parallel legs. I've got the relaxed shoulders. Already thinking core, so nothing really is on its own. Everything has some core layering to it. This is no exception. So engage my core. May or may not feel a little glute engagement, but I'm going to take the walking version into this hamstring stretch. For me, I do want to extend the leg up. I do want to engage the thighs. It might not be for you. It might be better for you to actually already hold behind your thighs, and you want to hold with a softer leg and a softer knee. If you get to the extension you want to, then it's all relative to you. You're going to challenge yourself. If there's a roll up and a curl up in your future, let's pop it in now. So as you come up, you breathe in, you breathe it out. I'm taking the approach that I'm still looking after myself. I'm not yanking anything. I still don't have the other leg straight, and this really could be where you want to stay. If you're good to go with scissors, perhaps you start lifting the other leg, and you can come up and you just have your toes come off of the mat. And that could be your extra little challenge. So there's so many different variations on a theme. You're good to go with more of that leg extension. You could bring it in, go in and hold and have a soft knee that you pause at. If the straight leg is good to go, then let's get going with that. I'm holding on quite firmly as well to start with, because this is new to me for right now in this particular session and how my body's feeling today. And then if I want a little bit more, I just hold a little less. So I'm on those fingertips to the calves. And I also can change my tempo. Breathing in, breathing out. Stay with the chin tucked into the chest. Cores engaged. C-curved spine. Breathing out. you come. If you feel it's helpful, have a little bit of neck mobilization, not as easy when you're lying down. Plant the feet, have the palms out in your T-shaped arms, and let your head drop to the side, or even close your eyes, and let yourself, knees go one way, gaze goes the other, same as I mentioned, eyes open or closed. Breathe into the midline, reset the spine, relax yourself, and then do let gravity help you drop on into the other side. Breathing in and breathing out. I'm going to do one more each side, having a kind of calm before we just do our last and final exercise. So I do need to match that. I've got to do one more on the other side. And then from here, so hopefully your neck is calm, your shoulders are calm, you've given your abs a little mini rest. And then from here, we're going to come into our last and final, which is double leg stretch. So double leg stretch, as everything else before it, has many different layers for you. You decide where you are with this. So you can hug in here, hug the knees, you can tuck the chin, curl up, and you can keep the knees in and just open out and then pop the feet down. If you want to give me a version that comes up and kind of comes down, and you could walk in and out and out. That could be a very nice transitional version and not as intense. If you're okay to push the boundaries of core engagement, staying up in the curl up, these next options are for you. So hug the knees in, hollow out your belly, make sure your core's engaged, tuck the chin into the chest. From here, legs could go out by a little bit, and then around you go, head and shoulders can come down. You could extend further. You could take a little longer, so you're slowing your tempo down. You could go a little lower or really low with those legs. You can actually stay up now for multiple repetitions. When you go down with those legs and the legs are going closer to the floor, be absolutely critical of yourself. Are you allowing your lower back to pop off of the mat? Where are you with this? Can you give me a little bit more core? Can you challenge yourself to hold out there? Hold it. Come on in. Would you like to pop the head down? Have a little wiggle out through the ankles. Open the knees. Have a little pause. And maybe, if you're available for your fullest version right now, you're feeling strong, it's going to be our last exercise. Could you give me 5 reps where you stay up the entire time? Nice and challenged to the end. See where you are. Tuck the chin into the chest. Out go the legs. Out go the arms. You could give me low and slow. Hug in. Anytime you want, do put the head and shoulders down. I'm just saying, if you can give me 5 where you're lifted, this is our finale. You've got 3. Lower. Zip in. You got 2. Reach it. Stretch it. Last one. Breathe out. Hold it. And in. Finding, if you need it, that cushion to slide in and pop underneath. Finding your transitional movement, your transitional position for your body. Could be the soles of the feet together again, with those knees out wide, and you're breathing in and breathing out. If you're okay with the legs extended, remembering that maybe matching the V shape of the legs with the V shape of the arms is a really nice place to be in terms of passive opening for the chest and the arm line, so sort of into the biceps a little bit and the forearms. Same is true when the legs are wider, just opening up through the pelvis, opening up through the inner thighs, and just breathing through the body, breathing in and breathing out. Just letting yourself have that exhale that makes a little bit more effort to push you through. So pushing you through those tight places in the body, pushing you through the fact that you are holding yourself under tension. You are working hard to engage the core. So this is the time to just luxuriate in the letting go. The idea of breathing a lovely full belly breath. So taking your time is always key. Breathing your way through the body allowing yourself the softness wherever it comes, especially through the cheeks and the forehead, then the jawline, and through our throat, your neck, and then the upper back. Letting the arms get a little heavier for me, dropping down into the elbows, down into the backs of the arms, down into the backs of the hands. And the same is true when we had it at the top of the class together. What are we thinking about the spine? Can we find that beautiful kind of circular motion of the breath, circling around and down, easing your way in the same fashion down through the legs, breathing in and breathing out. Just taking yourself through a really lovely, luxurious breath. It's a lovely, big, full breath. It has a really deep drawing down sensation through the exhale. And it has some really delicious light elements to the inhale. Relaxing the forehead, relaxing the cheeks and the jawline, and easing through the body. And when you're ready for a little bit of movement, our classic is to wiggle. So you can wiggle those fingertips, wiggle those toes, have a really big stretch out if you want to, have a really tight hug, however you like. I'm already here in our cross-legged position, but you sit here in any which way you like. And I'm going to do our little wiggling shoulders where I actually come forward and I come back. And then I'm going to do a little twist as I go. So twist it down, twist it up. I'm going to look up, I'm going to look over, I'm going to wiggle as I go. You do this in any which way you like, because it's always your body. You know it better than I do. And I'm just shifting my weight, and I'm going to over-exaggerate. We're dancing to the finish now. So we're just going to wiggle our way through. And then here, lift up, lift through the neck, lift through the chin. And then let yourself come through whatever rolling, gentle movement makes sense for you. So the calmer the better here, because you want to be in control again, because your head is pretty heavy when it's coming on round. Let it pull the rest of your body, so neck and shoulders and chest, but within reality. You don't want to go too far too soon, even though you're pretty warm and this is the end of your session. Just be mindful. Let's have a stretch out for your wrists. So we're just going to hold our fingertips. You can hold the thumb, but otherwise hold the fingertips. Stretch it out. Stretch it again for me, either side. And then I'm just going to do thumbs up and just pull into a nice big chest stretch, and then interlace and push front, and just do one more. So thumbs up, pull back and stretch. And when we come in, I'm just going to do a floaty version of that. And then we will be done. So round of applause, well done. Thank you so much for joining me. I do hope you enjoyed it. And I do hope to see you here very, very soon. Take care now.